today, focusing on the Suez Canal economic zone and helping foreign direct investments to be pumped, especially for today, from Chinese firms worth about $50 million in the Suez Canal economic zone regarding the storage batteries. And to be shedding more light on this important topic for today, I am honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Ahmed Khattab, the economic expert. Dr. Ahmed, thank you very much for being with us today on Nile TV International and the Market Insights.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure to be with you all time.
The pleasure is all mine. Dr. Ahmed Khattab, of course, we do know about the importance of the Suez Canal economic zone, and we have spoken together about this topic several times. But today we are having the news of the $50 million project and the factory regarding the energy and the storage batteries by China in the Suez Canal economic zone. How do you see such a step?
The Suez Canal economic zone is much more than an industrial zone next to the Suez Canal. Egypt is using it to transform the country's strategy, geographic locations into a platform for manufacturing, logistics, export, and the green industry. Why is the Suez Canal logistics area? The strategy is very important. The Suez Canal economic zone combines three major advantages. First advantage, the Suez Canal, one of the world's most important trade routes connecting Russia and Europe. Second, major ports, particularly in Sokhna, in Red Sea, and East Port Said on the Mediterranean. Third, industrial zone and logistic infrastructure located close to this port. This allows companies to manufacturing in Egypt access input efficiently and export direct to international markets. The green energy opportunity is very important. One of the most important developments is the emergence of the green energy industry ecosystem inside Suez Canal logistics area. The Chinese energy storage project shown in the picture is particularly significant because better storage is essential for expanding renewable energy. The economic China is solar and wind energy, energy storage, great stability, more renewable energy, green manufacturing, then export of this manufacturing product, especially wind and electricity. Solar and wind power are available source of electricity. Battery storage allow Egypt to store exceed electricity when renewable generation is a high and release it when demand increase or renewable generation decline. Why energy storage manufacturing matters? The 50 million Chinese energy storage project is important for several reasons. First, it supports the localization of renewable energy technology. Second, it reduces dependence on import storage system. Third, it creates a skilled industrial job, and it can develop local supply chain and strengthen Egypt's electricity grid. It can eventually turn Egypt into export base for energy storage system serving Africa and Middle East. And this is particularly important because Egypt is not simply trying to produce more renewable electricity. It is increasingly trying to manufacturing the technology required for renewable and energy transition. Suez Canal as a green manufacturing hub, this is where the bigger picture become important. Suez Canal is attracting investment in solar cell and solar panel, battery and energy storage system, green hydrogen and green ammonia, electrical vehicle and components, chemical and petrochemical industries, pharmaceutical industries, textile industries, food processing, logistics and distribution is very important. For example, the ATUM solar complex in Ain Sokhna involves an investment of about $210 million and include panel production of solar cell, solar panel and energy storage system. The real economic transformation, the strategy objective is to move from the Suez Canal as a global shipping route to the Suez Canal economic zone as a global manufacturing and logistics hub. That means Egypt can compete value before and after a ship passes through the canal, through manufacturing, assembly, storage, logistics, export, technology transfer, and employment. The Suez Canal Economic Zone is becoming one of Egypt's most important platforms for industrial and green transformation. Its advantage is not only its proximity to the Suez Canal, but the combination of port, industrial zone, infrastructure, and access to major international markets. The new energy storage investment is particularly important because storage is the missing link between renewable energy generation and stable electricity grid by attracting investment in solar manufacturing, batteries, green hydrogen, and other clean technology. Egypt is moving from simply importing renewable energy equipment to increasingly manufacturing this technology locally. This could position Suez Canal Economic Zone as a regional hub for the green manufacturing and export to Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. I think economic value of Suez Canal Economic Zone to Egypt goes for behind handling investment value of individual factory. The economic value of the zone to Egypt moving from transit revenue to production revenue. The traditional value of the Suez Canal is primarily linked to shipping and transit fees.
Yes.
Suez Canal Economic Zone adds a second layer of value. Shipping passed through Egypt, company manufacturing in Egypt, products are exported through Egyptian ports. This is allow Egypt to capture value from manufacturing, logistics, warehousing, services, and export, not just from the movement of shipments. Increasing foreign direct investment, the Suez Canal Economic Zone provides Egypt with a strategic platform for attracting Russian, Europe, and Gulf investors. For Egypt, the benefit is not simply the initial capital injection. Financial FDI can generate a new production capacity, technology transfer, skill employment, local supplies, export revenue, management and technical expertise, integration into global supply chain, and this is very important. The Chinese energy storage investment is therefore important as a signal to other international investments, supporting Egypt's foreign exchange earning. This is one of the strongest economic arguments. If companies manufacturing solar panels, batteries, electricity, vehicle components, and other industrial products in Egypt and export them, Egypt earn foreign currency from export, and this is our object that and target, and that create a potentially powerful combination. Suez Canal revenue plus industrial export plus logistics revenue, FDI inflow plus tourism and remittance. This will be added value to the economy, Egyptian economy especially. Diversifying foreign exchange source is strategically important for Egypt. Reducing the import bill, localization can also work from other sides.
Yes.
If Egypt produce more batteries, more solar components, more electrical equipment, more industrial machinery, more green ammonia and green and petrochemical, will be added also to added value to Egyptian economy. Domestically, it can gradually reduce its dependence on import equipment, and this is our objective also, to reduce imported products from abroad and increase our export volume and size. So the economic impact is potentially double-sided. More export plus fewer imports equal a strong external position, creating an industrial supply chain. 50 million factory is not only worth $50 million, but worth more and more. The bigger economic multiplier come from the company around it. For an energy storage factory, Egypt can develop supplier of raw material, electrical equipment, packaging, transportation, maintenance, engineering, software, control system, logistics, recycle. This creates a wider industrial ecosystem and increase the domestic value added. Job creation and the human capital Job creation in Egypt is hard because Egypt, we try year by year to create more jobs because we are more than 100 people, and most of the citizens in Egypt is youth, and
Yes.
our youth in Egypt in need of creating more jobs. So job creating and human capital is very important also.
Exactly.
Economic zone can create both direct and indirect employment. The more advantage the industries become, is the greater the potential for engineering, technical, logistics specialists, software professional, and skilled manufacturing workers. This is particularly important because Egypt needs to move towards higher productivity employment rather than relying only on low-value activity, turning Egypt into an export platform for Africa. This is perhaps one of Egypt's bigger strategy advantage. Manufacturing can establish production in Suez Canal economic zone and use Egypt as a gateway to Africa, plus Arab market, plus Europe, plus Russia market, and this is a huge export. Egypt geographically positioned ports and the trade agreement makes this particularly attractive. The objective should therefore be making in Egypt or made in Egypt, export through Egypt, and serve regional market from Egypt. And this is our target under the leadership of President Fattah al-Sisi. Supporting energy security is very important also. Energy storage manufacturing has another important macroeconomic dimension. More renewable energy plus more storage means Egypt can potentially reduce its reliance on fossil fuel for electricity generation, and this is very important because we are depending on Egypt now in wind, solar, and the wind power. And
Dr. Ahmed Khattab, as you mentioned, Made in Egypt is the main target of the political leadership and the directives of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Dr. Ahmed Khattab, the economic expert, thank you very much for being with us today on Nile TV International and the Market Insights. And this brings us to the end of the episode for today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.